Sobel, thanks for being with us today. So will this new immigration order essentially stop parents and children from being separated at the border?
Temporarily. It is an executive order that says no family will be separated. There's a lot of logistical complications here. How quickly can that be implemented? If the children and parents are separated by some miles, how do you put them back together? Where do they stay? All sorts of things have to be worked out, but it's the first step to do that.
Brian, what about the families that are already separated? What happens to them? Well,
the assumption is that they will be reunited. But again, it's a logistical thing. Where are they? How far away? Can you put them together? What accommodations can you give them so that they are together?
Two bills are coming up for a vote tomorrow.
Yes.
Does today's order give those bills any momentum?
I don't think so. I'm being told they don't have 218 votes, and the bills don't go far enough for some Republicans on the far right and almost no Democrats. That makes it very hard to come up with 218 votes.
That's the thing about this, Brian. The declaration that the president signed today really doesn't change anything when it comes to immigration policy. We have a huge issue on our hands, and it seems like you have Democrats way in their corners and Republicans way on their corners, and the only thing that will solve this is if the two sides can come and meet in the middle. Do you see that happening?
Not in the near term. And one of the things that we have to remember is, and sadly, people get involved in political fights, and we've got the 2018 midterms coming up here very, very shortly. And so there's a lot of camps circling each other around how they can gain advantage. I'm not questioning anybody's motives, but it's just the truth of the matter that nobody wants to give anybody a victory here, and yet we're talking about people being impacted, and that's what everybody ought to be thinking about. People who say, well, the Republicans haven't given me a chance to weigh in. Well, walk across the hall. For Republicans, walk across the hall. You know, the Congress should be a deliberative body, and both sides should be talking, and I sort of, cast blame on both of them for not doing it.
All right, last question right
Yes.
now. There's been a lot of talk today about the Flores settlement. Is
Yes.
the president's new executive order a violation of that? And explain what that is.
Well, the executive order today contemplates the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, going to court to clarify the Flores piece of legislation, rather law, which talks about, or court order, I should say, which talks about a child cannot be detained for more than 20 days. So if you reunite all these families, what are you going to do in 20 days? And this goes back to the top of the conversation where we talked about, okay, is this a stopgap or is this a solution? It's all going to end up in court.
Well, the bottom line is that Congress has to come together, and Congress has to figure this out, and the president has to sign the bill.
At the end of the day, we cannot keep moving from executive order to executive order. It's been going on now, administration by administration. Anybody can cast blame, but eventually Congress has to talk.
All right, Brian Sobel, thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure.